Welcome back to my channel, you guys. So for today's video, I'm kind of doing an update video on a previous one I had actually started, and talked about basically some ideas that I was gonna do or implement into my life to kind of like live a little more sustainably. Sorry, it's late and I'm tired, but I wanted to get use out of my makeup. So and I lost the footage that I recorded from previously, so we're gonna be kind of rocking this new footage, and if I find any other little tidbits that I recorded previously, I'll throw them in. But I think since it's been a period of time, I can kind of fully assess what's worked, what's not worked, and give you kind of like a good review of things that are, you know, easy to implement or not easy to implement. So let's get started with one thing I wanted to do was to get rid of all the shampoo that I had previously, like all the old bottles, just get rid of everything that I was either not going to use, I didn't like it, whatever. Just get rid of all the things I had in stock before I purchased anything else. And then at that point, start using shampoo and conditioner bars. So I've been doing that for at least a year or more now. And I can safely say that I really do actually prefer it versus the pumps. Reason being, I feel like you can kind of get like a better scrub on your hair because you're like getting really in there. And especially, I feel like the biggest thing I've noticed is that my dandruff problem is not as bad as it used to be with certain types of like scrubby type bar soaps. So I'll show you this one, which gives me a little bit of hope, you guys. So initially I was going on Amazon and getting, it's called Ethique, I believe. I'll put it up here somewhere. But it's basically that brand, and I was using their dandruff shampoo and I think it's just a conditioning, like a dry hair bar. So I was using those two items, and I had noticed a significant improvement in the dandruff situation that I have, like not as much itchy scalp, not as much dry flakes. It was amazing, like way better than using Head & Shoulders, etc. So I would highly recommend. It has oatmeal and some other like kind of gritty ingredients in, so you can really like get in your scalp and like get under there and get it really clean. So that's one thing I would definitely recommend. But the thing that also gives me hope is I was kind of sad initially because one of the shampoos that I really liked but wasn't always perfect with my hair, and I kind of felt bad because it does have plastic bottles, obviously, was the Garnier Honey Treasures, I believe it's called. That one smells so good, and I loved it so much, and I'm like, man, like it sucks that it doesn't come in a bar. It does now, you guys. It comes in a bar. Now, the conditioner doesn't come in a bar. It's just the shampoo, but this is really new that they just started offering it. And of course I bought it because I'm like, oh my God, thank goodness. Like this one I love so much. Like if it had, like it looked kind of gross because it's got my hair on it, but it smells so good, you guys. It's like honey and like sweet, and it's like one of those really like perfumey bars, but like it smells so good. And I used to love using it because it made my hair smell so good, and it was like pretty conditioning, so I did enjoy that. But at the same time, I was kind of sad that they didn't have a plastic free option. So now they do, so yay. So I'm happy to see it, which is kind of nice because it's like finally companies are kind of catching up with things that people are wanting. So like, oh, it would be nice if it was in a box and it was a bar versus a pump. So we're getting somewhere, you guys. We're getting somewhere. So that is one big change that I've made that I really love. Happy to have it. Another thing is, this might be TMI, but my period routine completely different than it used to be. So I don't use any like paper products anymore. So basically, instead of, there's the Thinx underwear that are like period panties, but those ones are really expensive. So I got these ones on Amazon. I was gonna say, I'm gonna hold them like this because I don't want you to see my drawers. Anyway, but they're kind of granny panties, but the thing is, you're on your period, and I like the extra support around my abdomen area, like, because especially when you get cramps and things, it's kind of like nice to have that. But you get really good coverage, so you don't have any leaks or anything like that. So if you're wondering, I'm kind of like medium to super flow, and they support me really well. So I don't have to like be worried during the day of any kind of leakage. So that's nice, and I feel like that works better than things I've used in the past. Also, I use a cup every once in a while, kind of depending on if I'm like, I was gonna get in the hot tub or like go swimming or something like that, then I would use a cup because it's kind of more like a tampon situation. Anyway, so that's something I've done and I'm very happy with. Like, I love it so much more. That was one of the biggest things about having a period, is like I used to hate doing tampons or pads, like because I just felt uncomfortable the entire time. But I feel like with both of these, it's doable now. So highly recommend that, and I can put the link for the products that I use that are from Amazon in the description box. So another thing that I do is as opposed to getting the wipes to wash my makeup with, I'm very simple, and I do either a washcloth like this, just really plain simple washcloth, or I also got these, which are like these microfiber cloths. So if I have something kind of like light on today, like kind of like I'm wearing now, it might not seem light, but like not a lot of heavy dark eye makeup where it's gonna be really hard to get off, or like you know, lashes or anything like that, I'll try to use something like this first and just wet it, and then I can usually get most of my makeup off. And I like these for traveling a lot as well because they fit really well in like your carry-on bag and everything. So you just wet it, get all your makeup off, pretty easy. Then you don't need the reusable wipes. So that's an option. If it's something like more heavy duty, then I'll use this cream, put it on the screen, and that I'll kind of scrub into my lash line so I can get more heavy duty, like harder to get off makeup off. Or if I just want to like do more of a deep cleanse, like I put a lot more product on than I normally do, then I'll use that, and then I'll just use like a regular washcloth and my like normal face soap and wash it off. So easy peasy there. Don't need to have like the reusable wipes, don't have to have all that. The cream that I've had for years. Like, I don't think I'll ever go through it, just because I don't wear, first, makeup a ton, and then second, like, you just use a little bit and it's kind of a little oily, but it gets everything off and like it just works really well. So highly recommend it. It's super cheap too, which is nice. And I got these too because I haven't done my nails as much as I should, which I'm planning to do it tonight actually, but when I would take off my nail polish, I would hate the fact that I would use so many cotton balls all the time, and also the fact that I don't really like taking the cotton balls and using them because I feel like they're not as effective. Like, you know, they kind of peel off every little bit and then you get like little fluffy bumps everywhere. It's just a whole mess. So I basically got rid of those. I'm not doing cotton balls anymore. I got these. These are actually for removing eye makeup, so you could use them for that purpose. But I got these actually so I could wash them and then I could use them for the remover. So I basically just dip the remover and then scrub it. And I feel like you get a better scrub. And you might have stains on them, but I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like, this one's clean, it doesn't have a stain on it, but some of the other ones, if I use like a dark nail polish, did get a stain on them, and then I washed them and they weren't like hard. Like, if you know like how nail polish is when it sits on carpet or something, it didn't get hard or like stuck on or anything. It was perfectly smooth again. It just had the coloration on it, which I'm okay with because I'm just going to reuse it for like washing my nail polish off anyway. But it was nice to get the acetone, like you can kind of put your finger under it like that and then scrub it really well and get in all the corners, versus like the cotton ball, which I feel like kind of made more of a mess because you're getting like all the little peely pieces everywhere. So these are super handy. Also, like, even if I'm at my makeup table and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, like I messed up, I'll just take a little corner of this, you know, with water or spit or whatever, I don't know, and then just kind of like fix an area, you know. They're really handy for that too, so I kind of have them in my vanity area for that reason. The other thing that I've been doing that I feel like has been helping too, this might be like a more of a long-term solution, is wearing glasses more often. Like, I'm not wearing them right now because I have makeup on and I'm doing videos, but like just when I'm at home and I'm not planning on going anywhere, or I'm gonna go out just like a short place, you know, like I just went to Target or the mall or something, or not the mall. When am I going to the mall? Who am I? No, I went to Walmart. excuse me, basic places. When I go out there, if I have my glasses on, whatever, I'll just do that as opposed to wearing my contacts. That way my contacts are more reserved for like when I'm going to work. I feel like that also helps just kind of renew the life of the contacts more. You don't have to, like, you can change them like the normal amount. You're not, hurting your eyes as much. And on top of that, you're just not wasting the plastic. So, because you get a little bit more life out of the contacts because you're not wearing them every single day. So just another thing to consider, or decreasing your amount of use of contacts in general is always good. But having a good backup pair is highly recommended. The pair I had before were actually really good, but I just hadn't changed them in a while. So I got new glasses recently. I got this really like cute pair. So like, I can't see right now, but like it's all green up here, and then the tortoise, like, oh my God, I just love them. So like, this is my favorite pair that I got. And then I got a black pair, but like, they're not even like comparable to this pair. I love them so much more. And then I also got a pair of sunglasses. So I did that because I was like, I want a good pair of each pair of glasses. And then that way I can't say that I don't have good glasses to wear and like I don't have an updated prescription. So I just did that recently, but I feel like I have a plethora of options now, which is good. And I still have my old pair that are backup, but I have options so I don't have to be like, oh my God, I have to wear contacts because I don't have any way to see otherwise. So composting. So I gotta tell you my story about composting, you guys. So for a couple years now, we've been trying to compost. And my little bin in the house, I'll show you what I bought. The bin works great, no issues there, right? The biggest issue I've noticed is me maintaining the compost, and that's just strictly because I just am not, it's just not something I enjoy doing. So what I found out is that I can actually take all of the compost that I have in the house and just put it in the yard bin and then have someone pick it up. So that's what I'm actually going to start doing as opposed to just trying to maintain it myself. I'll show you the unit I bought. It's like a little tumbler thing to actually make fertilizer and stuff like that. And I'm sure it would have worked, but it's just, I'm terrible at maintaining it. And we were like doing some modifications in the yard. Sorry, my camera's moving. So we were doing some modifications in the yard, and my husband moved it and was like, I hate this stupid thing. And it was a whole event. So, I was not sure if I was going to put it back up because I'm like, I really wasn't maintaining it very well. Like, you have to put a lot of soil and other things in it to kind of get it to degrade over time and become, like a fertilizer. And I wasn't really good about doing that. So it just kind of like was a stinky box in our yard. So I think, I will probably not go back to that, which kind of sucks because I did buy that unit already and probably just sell it off. But the idea that I have though is just to compost it in the yard bin because I think that's the easiest thing for us to do. But at the same time, it is still composting. So that's the important part. Plus we don't tend to have a full yard bin usually. So I think it'll work out perfectly fine where we're having more of the food scraps versus just the yard debris. But it'll also help too if you do have yard debris because that kind of helps it break down over time anyway. So that's something to keep in mind. One thing also I've been doing is just being very mindful of the things I purchase. That is really hard to do. Like, for example, my phone right now is like an 8+, right? And I see other people, they've got like a newer phone and I'm like, I want a newer phone. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, but mine works perfectly fine. Like, it's just ridiculous to go get a new phone when it works perfectly fine and it's paid off, which is the most important part. And it's like, unless it poops out, there's really no reason to get a new phone. So I'm trying to be more mindful of things like that. Like, don't just get something because you want that new thing, or it's like, it looks better, or possibly is better than what you have right now, especially if it's working for you. I mean, there's really no reason for me to upgrade my phone. Like, what, so I can see TikTok better? Like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, there's no reason. I haven't run out of memory or anything, so what the heck? So, I mean, okay, right now I'm recording on this phone. It's working perfectly fine. So, it's like moments like that where I have the consumerism type of like urge to purchase something and I'm like, okay, calm down. And I mean, I have purchased some things, like obviously I purchased these, but to me, it's like, I'm not getting cotton balls in the future. So I'm making an investment, especially when I ran out of cotton balls. I'm like, okay, well, now that I've run out of those and I've already exhausted that option, here we go. Or what's something I can use in the future when I'm traveling to get my makeup off without having to have a whole thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll come back for another one. All right, bye.